We are live.
Yes.
Oh, and Dave's drinking wine
What
as
what are
usual.
you,
Well,
what are you
Rodolfo's not
drinking, Jenna?
nothing yet. This is the 5 o'clock thing. We go through this every week, and it's getting
Yep.
embarrassing. But no, I'm not drinking anything yet.
It is 5:01, and if you don't have a glass of wine in your hand, it's a problem.
I'm at my mother-in-law's house. I can holler. I can holler, but
Hey, Jenna. She knows.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate to break it to you.
well, look.
She's figured it out. You're not. You're
Didn't
not.
didn't she
You're not
didn't she
saving
visit
anything.
your family in Nova Scotia? She knows.
Yeah, she did. I think we kind of exhausted her a little with our drinking shenanigans in Canada. It was a good 2 weeks of yes, Rodolfo keg stands because I know that's where you're going, and a lot of good wines, which we all tokenized. I got the whole fam on board for the cellar challenge, but yeah, she knows. I did show up today with a bottle of champagne, but it's for her to keep. So yeah, there's good etiquette too, Dave.
Yeah, I get it. So, anyways, I'm drinking a Glorioso. Do you know the Glorioso, Rodolfo? This is like my new favorite Rioja. I found a local wine shop that has like old vintages, and it's tremendous. Like
Yeah, I saw
really,
was that
2018.
16 or 18? Okay.
That's 18, but I've got 17, 16, 15. Like I basically bought them out, and it's for the price, like really, really good. I mean, it's just really good in general, but it's also pretty reasonable. So I'm pretty happy about it. I tokenized this bottle.
I didn't get a
So
text message sharing a tasting token. Usually I do. Did you get more
yeah,
drinking
but
buddies?
that's only when I'm opening something in Sicily that I thought you would. I thought you would enjoy seeing.
I
So
feel
normally I only send tasting tokens to people that I'm actually sharing the wine with.
nothing here. Yeah. Well,
I
spoiler
try to
alert.
follow the rules, Jana. The rules.
Spoiler alert. There's a little trick to the game.
Yeah,
Uh,
Good thing we're not announcing it to the world. So
right.
fantastic.
Well, there's 2 weeks left of the seller challenge, so are we 2 weeks out?
So
Probably.
I'm sorry, Jenna. What's the seller challenge? I've heard of this before. Can you tell me how does it work?
Ooh.
Well,
Yeah.
Dave, what you want to hear is 4x4x40. I know.
Oh,
So,
nice.
the seller challenge, for anyone who still doesn't know, you're late to the game, but it's not too late. The seller challenge is where you can tokenize bottles of wine that you have already at home, or you can go out right now and buy some wine and then come home and tokenize it. And when you tokenize the wine, you come into the dVIN platform and you set up an account. You tokenize all the wines you have at home, up to 12, unless you're a dVIN member. And you get paid in VIN coin for drinking the wine or for sharing a glass of wine with somebody new to the dVIN platform. And if you do 4 wines, 4 new friends, you automatically get 40,000 points, which is like a really, really decent VIN airdrop. Like, no kidding around. That's a sweet airdrop. So you're getting paid to drink, you're getting paid to party, you're getting paid to sip, whatever you want to say. But there's 2 weeks left. So you got to go to dvin.app and you can come into it that way. Or someone who already knows can pour you a glass of wine and mint you a tasting token, and you come in that way too. But I'm going to put it in the chat right here.
Or you can scan the QR code that we're going to put up in a little bit, and that will get you a special event token that's going to get you what, 2,500 points?
Yeah, exactly. So that's also
That's
an
exciting.
instant airdrop. You don't even have to tokenize any bottles, but it would be silly not to because it's a pretty sweet incentive. So there's an event token that is going to go up at some point. It might already be up, actually. I can't see. So if it's there, make sure you scan it, 2,500 points. And remember, every virtual event that we do leading up to our token generation event, when our native token VIN goes live on September 21st, every event token that you get leading up to that stack. So if you've been to a couple Wine Wednesdays, you're on a good path to a sweet airdrop.
Wait, and I'm sorry, Jana, and I keep forgetting this, but how does it work again? Like, what were those numbers? I was writing them down, and you went too fast. What were the numbers for the seller challenge? How does it work?
So you mean the 4x4x40, Dave?
Oh, right.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
So
I'm gonna
4 by 4 by
I'll write
3.
it down this time. Do it one more
You
time.
know what? I'm going to
How
put
many
that in the
bottles?
chat for you, Dave. How's that?
How many bottles, Jenna?
Rodolfo, help me. Why are you in Boston? 4 bottles, 4
Oh,
friends, 40,000 points
great.
towards a bin
Sorry.
airdrop.
I'm just writing it down. I'm just taking notes.
My voice is ringing through the house here, and I think they've all got it. We lost Rodolfo. He didn't want to hear it anymore.
Yeah,
Oh man.
he's gotten pretty sick of me saying that. So while we wait for Rodolfo and while we wait for we have a special guest today. I chatted with him a little bit earlier. He told me that he's going to really try to make it. It's one of our special partners from Amazon Managed Blockchain, Steve Bacci. He presented us on stage at the London blockchain conference back in April or May, a little while ago. And Amazon's just been a really wonderful partner for us, providing a lot of great services. And we thought we'd give them a little shout out. But I know that they're pretty crazy right now planning for AWS in December. Jenna, do you want to tell the story about AWS last year and all the fun that we had and what we're kind of thinking about? Like, I think we should do a poll. Should we go to AWS again this year?
Yeah. So AWS is happening this year in December. Last year it was end of November, early December, and that is when I had the pleasure of meeting Steve. So I hope he can make it today. That'll be a good little reminisce moment. So yeah, we met at reInvent. It was a lot of fun. Club dVIN actually we're dVIN Labs. I think everybody probably knows this by now. We are dVIN Labs. Club dVIN is our little exclusive wine club, and we did an event for reInvent or during reInvent in Vegas last year where we got a obnoxious penthouse and hosted a bunch of really cool, really smart people. And we showed off our tech. So on bottle tech, everybody was drinking champagne, wonderfully sourced by Rodolfo. Thanks, Rodolfo. We were drinking champagne, minting tasting tokens, just talking about a few different things that we've been doing over the last couple of years, a few things that we've been building. We had a lot of excitement in the room. We showed a pretty interesting teaser of a film that we're working on, and there was a lot of hype around it. And we were fortunate enough to set up some good meetings with Steve after that, and now we've got Amazon as a partner, and we're really excited about that. So yeah, poll: should we go back to reInvent? I mean, I had a lot of fun last year. Dave, you didn't get to join that party, but I tell you,
is it in Vegas again?
It is, yeah.
Always in Vegas,
yeah.
And it's the first week of December, right?
I believe so. Yeah, it's like a week later than it was last year.
So it's either that or the Australian blockchain conference. So we've been invited to go and present there. So I guess we just have to decide: do we want Vegas or Sydney?
I've been getting a lot of messages about that. So I know
we may have to divide and conquer.
We may have to. Turns out there's a lot of cool things that I want to go to and that we get invited to. It's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have. Turns out when you bring wine to all the blockchain events, people like to have you around. So,
speaking of which, Jana, you had an interesting morning.
I did. You know what?
Do we want to spill the tea? Do you have any props?
I think we can spill the tea. So, yeah, I mean, okay, if anyone here doesn't know that we're going to Breakpoint and we're going to cause a little bit of a splash, then we're going to cause a little bit of a splash. So if you can't find us or don't see us at Breakpoint, you've been into the wine too hard. So, and unfortunately that wouldn't have been our doing. So
yes,
we are working on a pretty special limited edition Breakpoint bottle of wine. And I got to go today and go to the printing facility where the labels are being made. And actually, I think they're on the press now, and they won't be done until Tuesday, which was kind of blowing our minds. And the reason that is because it's like a hell of a production. We've got some really special tech going on the bottles. It's going to be embedded in the labels. We've got security features, special, UV light, things on the bottle where if your bottle doesn't, reflect under the light, then it's not authentic. We're playing with a lot of different security features that we think winemakers are going to find cool and be able to implement themselves down the line to help prove provenance and on-bottle tech like RFIDs and things like that you can track through the supply chain. So I went to check it out today, and this is a big, big printing company, and there's like 5 warehouses, and we're half of 2 of the warehouses. So I was pretty blown away. And I think we'll post some videos, but I'll do the I don't have these on my computer, so I'll do this kind of amateur, hold my phone up to the screen thing.
Ooh.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole
That's
thing.
super cool.
The printing press has evolved, people.
Oh, it's like a whole room. It goes through like 6 of these. So yeah.
So
Guys.
4,000 bottles of champagne, but one
Oh, I don't
important
think
thing to
anyone
know.
did anyone say that? Who said that?
I said it.
Yeah.
But one important thing to know for everyone that's on the call is the champagne is already in Singapore.
Yes.
But the labels are with Jana in Germany. So what that means is we got some work. We're gonna have some work to do. Like, we're all coming to Singapore a little bit early. If anybody wants to earn some extra VIN coin, like, let us know. DM us if you're going to be in Singapore. We're going to have a little party, free pizza and champagne if you help us put 4,000 labels on 4,000 bottles.
Well, Dave, don't kill me, but actually, it's a lot more than that. 4,000 bottles. Every bottle gets 6 little labels. How do you love it? How much do you love it?
Oh man,
Don't worry, I timed it out. I used AI to time out an estimation on how long AI thinks it's going to take 5 people to label 4,000 bottles, and we're good. We're like at 7.5 hours or something. Fine.
Oh, no problem.
I can drink champagne for 7.5 hours with 5 buddies. No
yeah.
problem.
I think it's going to take a lot longer than that, but okay.
I think it's going to be interesting to see the inspired labels after we're drinking champagne and eating pizza and labeling them. Some of them are going to be a little different.
I checked with my insurance, and carpal tunnel syndrome is covered, so I'm good.
Yeah, that's okay. You know what? I used to work for a winery where we used to hand label all of the sparkling wine bottles, all of the Sekt, the German Sekt. It was a lot of fun. So yeah. Okay. So anyone else? Are there any other spoilers we need to give away, Dave, about Breakpoint?
I mean, so many. I mean, do you want to just do a list? I think, like, look, everybody knows that more people are going to be watching the clips than are here live. Although we really appreciate everyone that's here live. And if you're drinking wine while you're listening to us, I think you should get extra points. But in the clips, what you should do, Jana, why don't you, like, we actually just had this conversation earlier. You want to walk through all of the cool partners that we're working with at Breakpoint. And then maybe what we can do in the clips that we post later is like pop up all their logos and then like tag them in the video.
You know what's funny? This doesn't
old fashioned?
This is a really good insight for everybody watching this. This is how my day is. I spend the day on a lot of calls with Dave, and this is actually exactly how it goes. He has ideas, and then he's like, "Hey, Jana, do you want to put this thing on a clip and do this thing?"
It's not just you. Rodolfo was like, Rodolfo's 27. He only looks like that because I've been giving him stuff to do over the course of the last 2 years. So it's not just you, Jana. I mean,
I don't know how you Dave does like 27 calls a day. I think I do a lot when I do like 12.
Yeah, the only difference is it doesn't show with Jana, so I don't know if you're like sleeping in formaldehyde or what. But
it's
whereas
good wine, just not right now.
Dorian Gray over here, is having the painting in the other room imploding. It's all worth it. I look forward to another message. just judging by my internal clock, I'm going to say sometime today I'll get a message from one of the two of you that's like, we're going to need some way to connect those bottles with a digital
I'm kidding.
cork.
It's a lot of work. A lot of work on the back end here. That's yeah. Anyways, okay, let me go through it. So I actually have to pull up a list because there's so many. So okay, so for Breakpoint, we've got like a whole boatload of champagne, right? Any attendee who comes to Breakpoint is going to get a limited edition bottle with a sweet airdrop attached. So that's awesome. You're all going to get your bottle plus the ability to pull 3,000 VIN out of that bottle, which is awesome. For Breakpoint closing party, we're going to have I kid you not, there's going to be a champagne bottle that is like double the size of Dave. And if you've only seen Dave on these like webinars and things like that, he's like 8 feet tall. So
Very tall.
there's going to be a giant bottle twice his size. And we are going to put some NFCs all over that bottle. You're going to be able to tap the bottle and just like anybody who taps the bottle will be able to get an airdrop. It's going to be sweet. So that bottle is going to be popular and lit up. You won't miss it. We're partnering up with Wormhole to do a VIP dinner where everyone's going to walk away with a great airdrop and some champagne. Also, we are working with them on their after party at, I don't want to give away too much info because I don't know if that's a secret. But there's going to be a really cool activation there that I don't think I'm allowed to say anything about quite yet. We're going to be doing an event with RVIP, where we're actually going to have some special wines brought in from our friends at Over the Line. So Jack Burston and Peter Douglas, they've sent over some really, really cool wines. I also won't give those away, but some great old vintages of Australian gems. Those are all going to have airdrops attached to them. So anybody who gets a glass of wine is getting VIN to sip. Win-win. We have got a huge plan to work with a bunch of different super team communities that we're really looking forward to. Lots of airdrops and bottles going out all over the world for that, not just at Breakpoint, but over the next, certainly 1 year and beyond. So super team community, you guys have a lot of boozing to look forward to. Hope you're ready. Real Housewives of Solana. There's going to be a DePIN Labs appearance in season 1 of Real Housewives of Solana. We may be doing a champagne sabering competition. Let's see what happens. Definitely, it's going to be a blind tasting element where I'm going to put the ladies to the test to see if they, can tell a Riesling from a Chardonnay or a Riesling from a Sauvignon Blanc. Let's see.
Assuming those are even possible options in the blind tasting, we don't know.
We don't know. I actually don't know yet.
It'll be double blind.
Double blind. Yes. The blind led by the blind. Great idea. That will really put my knowledge to the test. Monkey DAO. We're going to be doing some really cool side events with Monkey DAO. So look forward to that. If you're going to be going to any events with Monkey DAO, you might just see us there. Sharkify, like these guys are on fire when it comes to their party plans. Like we were talking to them the other day and she was like rattling off idea after idea after idea and they're doing all of them and they all sound like so much fun. So I'm definitely going to be hanging out with the crew at Sharkify and we've got a lot of bottles to bring to that community in their events. Oh my God, PFL, photo finish. We are going to be the grand prize for the Solana Derby during Breakpoint. So there's going to be 12 horses racing to the finish and whoever bets on the winning horse, first 100 people to come and claim their NFT is going to get a bottle of champagne with a big airdrop attached. So that's a sweet prize. And then there's also going to be a double mag and a mag up for grabs with PFL. So make sure you come, the bigger the bottle, the bigger the airdrop. So think about that. Dead King Society, we're going to do some special bottles for 10 of the DKS crew. Those are going to have great big airdrops attached. I know I'm rattling them off here. And we're doing a cool dinner with the Mad Lads, Google Skulls, that crew. Where everyone's going to walk away with a pretty nice bottle as well. So yeah, I think I named them all. We got a couple pending. So we're not, it's not over till it's over. If anybody is doing cool events at Breakpoint and is, predicting thirst, let us know.
Yeah.
Hi, Stephen.
Thanks, Jana.
Sorry, I know
That's
that was
amazing.
really
Hey,
long.
Steve.
Hi,
Steve.
good afternoon. I do
You,
apologise. I've had a serious technical problem on my side with my laptop. But,
Don't worry, Steve. I couldn't
sod's
even
law.
see that you were here because I was rattling off the longest list of partners ever. Sorry. Hi, Steve. Nice to see you.
Yeah, great to be here. Super excited to join the call. So thank you for the invite.
No, we really appreciate it. Your ears must have been ringing because we were talking about you earlier, and how we met you at AWS last year, and how we've really enjoyed kind of getting to know you and the team at Amazon Managed Blockchain, and that you guys have just been kind of amazing support, and how we've enjoyed obviously the London Blockchain Conference and working with you folks, and we'd love to kind of give you the opportunity to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about what you do at AWS and Amazon Managed Blockchain.
Thanks, David. Yeah, and so Steve Bacci, I'm a principal specialist solution architect. It's quite a mouthful, but in essence, I look after blockchain for AWS across EMEA, in essence. And we have a number where we have one key service, Amazon Managed Blockchain, but we don't just talk to customers about our specific service. We provide kind of expertise and guidance on customers in the Web3 space in general, in kind of adopting AWS for their blockchain projects. So obviously I'm a key part of that. And so as well as talking to our engineering folk in terms of guiding what they're building and bringing the voice of the customer to the engineering teams, I'm obviously interfacing with customers and helping them unblock their blockchain projects and making sure their AWS experience for their wonderful Web3 project is as smooth as possible. That's essentially what my my functions are at AWS.
So, Steve, that's great, and again, we've been very, very fortunate to be a partner with AWS and Amazon Managed Blockchain. We're very grateful that you kind of invited us into the community there, and we've been the beneficiary of a lot of great advice, and what the engineering team tells me all the time is that like it saves so much time and money working on the platform that we're just really excited about it. Are you allowed to talk about AI stuff, Steve, or do you not want to talk about that? If you don't want to, it's fine.
I can talk a little bit, but obviously we do have dedicated specialists who can, who can do a much better job of talking about a wide array of AI services, which is increasing by the day. So I can only talk about my personal experience of building a blockchain project, which is at the intersection of Web3 and AI. So I can talk about my personal experience, but you might want to kind of bring in someone who's a specialist on our AI products to really kind of do it justice. But
do you want to? Why don't you give us 2 seconds, and then maybe Rodolfo, you can spill a little bit of tea about the because we just launched a very cool little AI application on dVIN that's built on Amazon Managed Blockchain. So if you want to talk, Steve, for just a second generally about what you did there, and then maybe Rodolfo, you can introduce Wine Guy.
Happy to.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about AWS services, and for those who are listening and watching and who have used AWS in the past or are using it, it's you've got to look at it like Lego blocks, and it's when you start building and assembling these Lego blocks together as to when things really kind of happen. And we like to innovate for the innovators. So one of the things I do in my role is kind of look at how we can plug things together, look at what's happening in the industry, what kind of challenges people are having, and how I can plug things together to perhaps demonstrate a capability which perhaps somebody hadn't thought of before. And on that theme, one thing I did recently was for those of us who have built and worked on blockchain projects and been down in the weeds with the engineering side of it, some of the RPC interfaces on blockchain nodes can be quite fiddly to deal with. If you think about passing parameters into using the JSON RPC calls to basically customize the various different RPC calls you want to make, and different types of RPC calls across different types of blockchain nodes, it can get quite complex quite quickly. So one of the things we thought about was, hey, wouldn't it be amazing if we could, as a user who wanted to extract information from public blockchains, wouldn't it be fantastic if you could just literally, like a blockchain chat GPT, just literally ask your question in natural language and get the answers back. So we've developed a number of prototypes on that general theme, which have turned out to be, considerably more successful than we expected. And how that works is obviously using Amazon Bedrock and a specific type of large language model behind that, to convert the user request, the natural language, into like RPC calls the blockchain nodes can understand. So that is considerably powerful when you start thinking about businesses who need to extract the data for example, doing compliance reports or risk reports or anything, or forensic analysis. Then you can start to see how what the compelling proposition is there, because instead of writing these reports and having teams of people to develop these report engines, you can simply write a natural language. Hey, I want this. Show me all the events which have happened on this stable coin over the last 24 hours. So all these things are possible, and it's really is quite something to see these things coming together when you start plugging together and using a bit of imagination to make these things happen.
That's very cool, and we've built something not quite as cool, but using a lot of the same ideas. And I know that we leaned on your team a lot, so thank you very much in kind of developing this little AI project that we're soft launching today. Rodolfo, do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Sure. And a little shout out to our colleague Adnan, who and the rest of the team as well at Protocol, who have been amazing in doing all the behind the scenes work that hopefully none of you will see. But if you, we will very softly roll this out today and then draw more attention to it. This will be the first version that is up on dVIN.app. So if you log in to dVIN.app and there we go. Thank you for that. If you log in using your phone number and then go to any of your tasting tokens in your tasting journey, or any of the digital corks in your digital cellar, which are all at the bottom left where that icon says seller. Right under the animation, these super slick animations that are part of the digital cork for each wine, you can see two icons. One that's being hovered over right now that looks like a sheet of paper with writing on it, and then the one right next to it is a fork and a knife. So if you click on the first one farthest to the left, you are pinging wine guy or wine gal for tasting notes on the particular wine in question. And it will provide you with all sorts of interesting information to help you sort of navigate what this wine may be like. And then it finishes with some very natural prompts about the wine, initially trying to get a sense of where you are physically at the time, to help make more relevant the results that are presented to you. And you can always change that. It's extremely intuitive. You can have a very natural conversation and say, "Hey, I'm somewhere else right now," and it'll immediately detect that and make adjustments. Or if you want to actually get more into the food side of things and the food and wine pairing side of things, the button immediately to its right, the knife and the fork. If you click there, it will launch a prompt that tells you food pairings for the wine in question that are germane to that specific wine, and then you can have a conversation about your personal preferences. If you want to learn more about the wine, if you want to learn more about the pairings, if you are interested on tracking that down, that particular wine down, relevant to where you are at the time. Say you wanted to get more. So anyway, it's I'll keep it brief, but we're going to encourage everyone to play with it, to share your thoughts with us. It will be a ongoing, constantly improving, self-improving, as well as us making updates to it. But I can tell you, Dave recently was on vacation with his family for a long week, and from what I hear, the wine guy or the wine gal received was almost overloaded by queries from Dave, as he wanted more information on every single wine he came across in Sicilian wine country, and he and his family had a ton of fun trying to stump it, and it proved quite resourceful. I think you were unable to trip it up.
Completely unable to stump it. So, what we've built here very simply is we took a bunch of proprietary wine information. We have, just because we've been in the industry for a long time, we have access to a lot of proprietary wine data. And then we kind of merged that with a large language model and built everything on Amazon Managed Blockchain I'm sorry, you just said on Bedrock. And what's cool about it is whenever what we had always intended to do with the app was to write a bunch of food pairing suggestions and write a bunch of tasting notes and just give people access to it. But instead, what we decided to do earlier this year was turn it into a conversation, because that's really, when you think about most of the time when you're enjoying a great bottle of wine, it's the result of a conversation, maybe with a sommelier, maybe with someone at a wine shop, maybe with a friend who's referring it to you. And so what we wanted to do was kind of recreate that concept and turn it from being a static piece of data into a conversation with somebody that knows a lot about you. And Wine Guy, this agent that we've built, is both using information from large language models, using our proprietary information, and then for each individual customer using blockchain data. So it's using the data from the wines that are in my digital cellar, using data from my tasting notes. So it's looking at the wines that I've purchased, it's looking at the wines that I've tasted, and it's remembering. So when I first got to Sicily about 2 weeks ago, it was in beta, so I was using it on our beta server, and one of the first questions, like I asked for I think I asked for food pairing suggestions for a particular bottle that I'd scanned at a restaurant. And it gave me the food pairing suggestions and then said, where are you? It was like, it was kind of funny. And I was like, well, normally I'm in Barcelona, but I'm in Sicily. And as soon as I told the agent that I was in Sicily, it came back with completely different food pairing suggestions. It said, since you're in Sicily, you should order these things instead because, you know, you have a whole different palette of types of food that you can order. And it remembered that I was in Sicily all the way through. So every time I was looking for food pairing suggestions or looking, you know, sometimes I would just get on and be like, hey, I'm at this restaurant. What wine should I get? I'm thinking about ordering the lamb chops, or I'm thinking about ordering the lasagna. Like I would get really good suggestions that were focused on Sicilian wines because it knew that in Sicily, I was going to be somewhat limited in the wines that I could order. It was like, I got lucky because I was literally in a place that I didn't know very well when the project was in beta. So I had a lot of interest in using it. I was probably spent a little bit more time on my phone than I normally do in restaurants, but it was really great. Got a lot of really great information. And again, this mix of, you know, data that we got from large language models, proprietary data that we were using, and then blockchain data that we were pulling from the blockchain that was personal to me, like that was pretty cool. I got to tell you, it was really an amazing experience. And I so far, everyone that's been playing with it has given us rave reviews. So that was, I got to tell you, the building that, Steve, I think you and I talked about that in one of our first conversations back in maybe February, maybe it was even December last year. We talked about building that out, and we're really excited to be launching it, soft launching it to our members this week.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I mean, what you're talking about there, the context and the model becoming aware of what you're looking for and how the kind of things you're asking, the kind of questions you're asking. That context sensitivity, that context learning, the retrieval, what we call in AI speak, retrieval augmented generation, where you're augmenting the responses from the large language models with additional data, whether it be from a database of wines, for example, or blockchain data, augmenting all that data into the responses, super powerful, as you've just so eloquently described. And it's a story, it's a recipe we're seeing over and over again with our customers.
Well, we couldn't be more excited, and again, like we're proud Amazon partners, and I can't say enough how valuable not just the support of your team, but the advice and support that we've gotten from you, Steve, has been. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
It's been really a pleasure working with you.
That's why we exist. I mean, we innovate for the innovators like yourself. So that's why we exist.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you in Vegas. Are you going to Vegas again this year?
Yes, I'm doing a talk on tokenization.
All right.
Subject to your heart.
Anybody that's going to be in Vegas should make sure and DM us because I'm sure that we're going to be doing something fun there. And Steve, you and I should talk offline and see if there's something fun that we can do while we're there together.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I want to thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
Apologies for being late. It was unavoidable.
No, that's all right. What are you drinking, Steve?
Nothing at the moment.
Am I the only one drinking wine today?
It's just going to be water. I'm quite thirsty, but I think there will be some wine later. We got some recommendations.
All right. We'll make sure of it.
Ask
all right.
Wine Guy.
Hey.
Yes.
Yeah. Ask
exactly.
the wine guy.
All right. Thank you so much, Steve, for joining us. And make sure everybody who's watching to check out, if you're watching through Riverside, make sure that you hop on over to Twitter, to X, and claim that event token. So you're getting your points towards the DePIN airdrop. 2 weeks left for the seller challenge. So make sure you're tokenizing your bottles at home. And we hope to see you all in Singapore at one of the many exciting events. Lots of champagne. You got to help us get through it. Thanks, guys.
If not, label it. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.